Hey everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing the Subotech BG1508. This is a 1/12 scale four-wheel drive brushed monster truck, though I don't know if I'd call it a monster truck, but these tires really kind of would qualify. But it's, you know, it's more of kind of in between a truggy and a monster truck, I guess you would say. It has, you know, a really neat design. I really like the look of this truck. Just really sharp looking truck. It has these really big wheels, like I said, and really nice big grippy tires on it. Let's turn it around. I don't have the body attached, so it might kind of come off there, but just overall I like the design of this truck. I do like the look of it. Now these really big tires, they can be a bit bouncy though, because they are so large. So as you're kind of turning on the street and driving around, it will kind of tend to kind of bounce or jump a little bit. Just because these big tires are so grippy and there's so much surface area grabbing that it tends to do that. Now also because these tires are so large, the steering radius is not all that great. Now the controller does give you an option to limit or go up to the maximum steering radius. So I do like that they do add that, but even on the maximum steering radius, it's not all that great. But I don't know why anybody would want to limit it down unless you want to give this to a younger kid to drive, and it might help them, not peel out or turn around. But being four-wheel drive, you're not going to really do donuts anyway, so it'd probably usually a throttle limiter would be helpful in that situation. But even on the max steering radius, it still is not, great, and that's just because these tires are so large. But it does seem to handle the steering pretty well, so the servo seems to be okay. You might want a little beefier servo. It's kind of a small servo, but overall it does get the job done. Just don't expect it to be able to turn on a dime with these large wheels. It uses a 390 size brush motor, so not a huge brush motor, but pretty common in the 1/12 scale class. So it's not exactly a speed demon, particularly because it's four-wheel drive. So when you're out driving it, don't expect it to fly around. I think they rated it like 34 kilometers per hour, which would be above 20 miles per hour. I don't really think it goes that quick. I'd say it goes between 15 and 20 probably. But like I said, it's not really designed to be a speed demon. It's meant for off-road driving, these big tires and wheels. So and it does a fairly good job of that. I like some of the accents that it includes on it. Not besides just a nice looking body. It's got this red shield here above the motor, and it's got these red springs on the shocks here. So some nice accents and touches to it. The motor is encaged here in this this cage, which feels like it's plastic, though it looks like it's metal, but I think it's just plastic to help protect the motor. These shocks are just spring shocks. They are not oil filled, but they seem to do a fairly good job when I was out running it around. They're a little bouncy, but they're not as bad as some that I've seen. But it does the job, especially in this price range. This truck, with the coupon code that RC Moment gave me, I think it knocks $8 off the price. If you're in the United States and you order this truck, it's around $50 with free shipping. So for this price, that's pretty. I think it has a lot of nice accessories for that price. From China, I think it was more. It had the free shipping also. I don't remember that price offhand from China. Let's go ahead and look at the underneath the body. Let's hold the body up here real quick while I have it off. And just really nice and shiny body. There is like a protective sheen on this that you want to pull off. You could leave it on if you're worried about road rash, but any road rash is going to rip that off anyway where it hits. But when you pull it off, it really gives that nice glossy look to it. But as you can see, there's it looks like a really nice built vehicle here. It's got all your components inside of here, your receiver, electronic speed controller, and they're all protected really well. And it's got some ventilation here and holes, but overall a lot of your dust and stuff's going to be kept out fairly well. So like I said, it's not sealed. It's got a connector here. It's the same connector as the battery, which goes to the motor. So if you need to unplug it and replace the motor, which could be something that could happen, it'd be pretty easy to swap it out. especially if you get the same motor from Subotech that has the plug on it. It's got there's your servo there. Like I said, it's a decent servo. It's a little bit small, but you know, with this driving mechanism, or the steering mechanism, it seems to get the job done. Here is the drive shaft between the front and the rear gearboxes, and it looks like, you know, it's definitely metal. I can't feel it too well, but it looks like it's probably aluminum. So, you know, it's going to transfer the power between the front gearbox and then to the rear to the front where the motor is located, and distribute that power fairly well. It's a little bit loud because it is four-wheel drive, but like I said, it's got these metal dog bones in the front and in the back. I'll turn around to the back so you can see it. And these metal dog bones here are not going to be easy to break, and I do like that they use the metal, although the composite ones some use also work quite well too. But you know, it's not a cheap plastic, big fat plastic dog bone like they used to use years ago that always did bust. These are not going to bust. It does have full ball bearings in the entire vehicle. You can't see it too easily because, as you can see when I turn here, you know, it's I turn all the gearboxes with the dog bones, so you can't just spin the wheel freely to show you that it has ball bearings. But it says it did, and I opened it up, and there are ball bearings on the inside and out of each wheel. And I believe there's also ball bearings in all the gearboxes too. So that's good for reducing friction, and it does help with the speed some too, though like I said, this is not a speed demon by any means. Let's see here. I'll look at the notes at the top here. I think I covered all that, so let's go ahead and move along to the battery and the charger and that stuff. It comes with a 7.4 volt, 1500 milliamp, 20C lithium ion. You don't usually see the C ratings on these, but fairly big battery, and you do want a large battery for this four-wheel drive 390 motor to get a decent run time. Like I said, it uses that kind of unique plug. Looks a little like an XT30 plug, and but it's not. But my HBX truck that I have uses that exact same connector, so it's not that obscure. And it does have a balance plug on the lithium ion. You don't always see a balance plug, so you will get these cells balanced with the charger that's included. Or if you could get alligator clips on here or find this connector, you could certainly use this on a hobby grade charger, which will charge it faster. The run time on this is about 12 minutes with that battery, which is not bad, you know. And like I said, I'm glad they had the forethought to put this large battery in here, because so many of these 1/12 scale two-wheel drive trucks come with a battery around half the size, around 800 milliamp. And if they use that, this would not have a very good run time at all. But 12 minutes is not bad for a four-wheel drive truck like this. The charger that's included is pretty basic. You know, it just has a little light here that turns on, and I think it goes from red and then green when it's charged. It lets you know it's charged, and it just charges off the balance plug, so that way you at least get both cells properly balanced. And it takes about 2.5 hours to charge, so it's a little slow, not horrible, but you know, it'd be nice to be a little better. That's why it'd be nice to use a hobby grade charger if you could. So I wish they would use more standard, like an XT30 even, it would be easier, but so many of them don't use it on these lower cost toy grade cars. It comes with a 4-way wrench, which is pretty common. I've seen these back in the days of my Tamiya stuff. It always have these. So you can, this is for the bigger ones for taking off the wheels, and then you get your other ones for some of the other smaller nuts inside, and some spare body clips, which is nice because, you know, it's easy when you're taking these off, drop on the floor and not find it, and you don't have any extra, like, oh no. So I'm glad they do, because not everybody includes extra body pins. Comes with a rather large and nice Phillips screwdriver. It may sound kind of silly saying that, but so many of these come with a little dinky Phillips screwdriver, and this one's going to give me a little easier to turn stuff. So I like that they actually included a decent Phillips screwdriver with this. It comes with some extra spacers, or different sized spacers for the shocks if you want to decrease or increase the tension and how bouncy or less bouncy it is. It's got some on there right now, and you can add more of these, or you could take some out and put smaller ones to increase or decrease the tension on the suspension. And it comes with 2 spare dog bones, which are a little bit different than the ones that are used in the vehicle. And I was a little stumped at first, because these kind of universal kind of swing shaft dog bones are usually on the higher end vehicles. These are preferred over a straight shaft, solid molded one-piece metal dog bone like the ones that are used in it. And looking at the instruction manual and the assembly instructions, because it includes a nice assembly instructions and an explosive view of the car, you can see that this is what the instruction manual showed the truck initially using. So I guess at some point they decided to go to the solid one piece, maybe be a production cost or something, because I imagine these are going to be more expensive. But you could use these according to the instructions. You could replace a dog bone with these. These should be more efficient and work better. But you know, since you don't have 4 of them, you don't want to try to, obviously you can't replace all of them with these unless you bought 2 more. But if for some reason one broke for some reason, one of these would work. Or you could throw these into the rear, let's say, on both sides if you were bored one day and wanted to. But I don't see any real reason to do it. But it is nice that they at least include them. I just don't think you're going to break a dog bone. If you do, you're going to break a lot more. The only ones I ever broke over the years were the cheap ABS plastic ones that had a metal pin through them, and those were junk. And I don't see anybody using those, you know, that kind of stuff anymore. Let's go ahead and go over the controller now. Comes with a nice, you know, nice sized pistol grip controller, not huge like some of the WL toys. I like this size better. It does not have a foam grip on the wheel here, which is a minor complaint of mine. I like the foam because it gives you a little better grip and feeling, and your hands or fingers are less likely to slide. Uses 3 AA batteries. It's got your steering trim here and your steering limiter, or amount how much you want it to steer. So I've got it all the way to the right, or at max steering radius, which you definitely want to do with this because of those large tires. One thing it does make a note of in here, and it includes a little tag on the front of the vehicle when you get it, is you need to bind it the first time that you use it, which is a really simple procedure. You turn on the car, then you hold down the bind button, turn on the power, and then it will blink like that and then go, I think it goes solid and lets you know it's bound. I think you have to let up on the bind. You hold it down, you turn it on, and then you let up, and it'll go through until it finds the bind, and it matches it up with the vehicle, and then it's ready to go. And once you do that, you're done. You don't have to do it every time you start up. You do it one time and you're done. You wouldn't have to do it again unless you pretty much unless you replaced the receiver, or if there was some weird malfunction with it where it had to be reset. There might be a reset button on the receiver ESC, which I'm sure is a receiver ESC combo in there. So pretty basic on the controller, but what do you expect on a car? Not a whole lot to it. So just gonna check my notes over here real quick. I think I covered everything. Like I said, 12-minute run time. You know, kind of depending how you drive it, and 2.5-hour charge time on it. And yeah, I think that covers everything. So let's go ahead and we'll move along to the driver view. Hey, back with the driver view of the Subotech off-road 4-wheel drive 1/12 scale truck. A really neat looking truck, and I think it's around $50, so it's a really, you know, it's a pretty nice truck for the price. It's got these really big wheels, so it's, you know, gives it plenty of clearance, and if it bumps something, you're not as likely to break something. So just overall a pretty neat truck. So let's go ahead and we'll take it out for a test drive. I already have it bound up, so it's ready to go. So it's not exactly a speed demon, but it's 4-wheel drive. You know, so you can't expect it to be super fast on a 390 brushed motor. It does have that 1500 milliamp battery, so you know, it gives it about a 12-minute run time I've been getting with it. Give or take a minute on each end, you know, depending on whether or not you how you drive it, I should say. Sorry for the brain lapse there. As you can see when I turn here, you'll see it the wheels kind of bounce. And that's just because those tires are so big and they kind of grabby, and it just really kind of makes them bounce, but it doesn't seem to affect it too much. But you can see the steering radius is not the greatest, and I have the steering, you know, radius set to maximum. So it's not going to turn on a dime on you. This would be a really good truck for a younger kid, maybe as one of his first trucks, because it's pretty well built and it's not super fast, so you're not going to lose control of it, and it's got pretty good power and those big tires. But really the only issues I have with it would be the bit of the bounciness of the tires and the turning radius not being super good. Though you can see when you go slower you can do it a little better than at full speed. Partially that's because of those tires bouncing. But it's got a pretty good run time, like I said, and it's cut with that pretty large lithium-ion battery. I'm glad they didn't go with the smaller one like a lot of the other ones in this class use, or you would not get much run time at all with it being four-wheel drive. So the body on it is really sharp too. I like the look of the truck a lot. And it comes with a fair amount of accessories, as you saw in the table review too. They didn't skimp on extra parts, even though it's extra dog bones, even though they're not the same as the one that they used in it. They will work, and those are actually better, those swing shafts. But if for some reason you had to replace one, you'd probably want to replace both on each side of whatever front or back you had to replace. Just a fun car, it's not, like I said, it would be good for a beginner or someone that just wants a car to drive around for fun that's not going to break the bank. It's got good power, but it's, like I said, it's okay with not it being super fast. Those spring shocks seem to do a pretty good job. Like I said, I've been able to, I'll try to do a jump here and show you. It jumps pretty nicely. It didn't bottom out. It seems to be pretty level when it jumps, so it's well balanced. And those big tires help too to keep from bottom out. But like I said, pretty neat truck. I don't really have too many complaints about it. Build quality seems to be good. I really like the accents, the red motor guard and the red springs on the shocks. Bring it around here. So the turn radius at times, you just make sure you give yourself plenty of room to turn around. I can see it takes about my whole front yard to turn. Well, it's kind of a blustery, raw day here today and pretty cold. My hands are kind of freezing. I didn't wear gloves. I'm not a big fan of wearing gloves when I'm trying to use remote control stuff. I just feel like I lose that feeling, that sensation to give it fine control, especially on a drone. Cars are not so bad. Oh, I think that probably covers enough to let you see what it can do. Overall, a pretty neat truck for the price. I really don't have too many complaints for around $50 ship free in the US. When I think it's around $60 ship free out of their China warehouse. Just make sure that you check the video description where I've got that discount code for the $8 off. So knock that price down some more from RC Moment. So appreciate you watching. I've got a few more reviews coming up. I've got the Cyma X8 SW, a big drone, and the new Cyma series, and I got a remote control boat I want to get out there once the weather cooperates. So, and I'll probably have, so I know I got some more stuff that'll be coming shortly. So be sure to subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and stay tuned for more videos, and have a great day.